for yes, all right. She's a tech whiz, y'all. But good morning, y'all. I hope you guys are doing good. It's Friday. I hope you guys are withdrawing and you're getting that residual check. And if you haven't gotten that residual check, that you're working towards getting that residual check because it feels good. But I want you guys to real quick, I like that practice where we all like unmute ourselves and talk about what we're grateful for. But first, I actually want to do something kind of like the same, but a little different. What was the first thing that you were grateful for when you woke up this morning? Drop it in the chat or unmute yourself. It doesn't matter. I know you guys could probably unmute yourselves because I didn't put no thing on here. I'm on my phone, so I don't think I can. Anybody want to mute themselves? I think I can. Nope, don't know how to do it on here. But drop in the chat, what was the first thing you were grateful for when you first woke up this morning? First thing I was grateful for this morning was the sun. Yo, you guys don't know, my room has the best sun in the world. I'm gonna show you guys. Like, look at, oh, that's my face. Look at that. Oh my God, it is all day. Like, and it booms into the, oh, I love it. So, y'all, the first thing I'm grateful for is the sun. I'm like, yo, thank you, God. Thank you, God, the sun is out today. Then I'm like, thank you, God, for waking me up. And then, you know, it continues. So keep dropping what you guys are grateful for. Some days, you know, some days we wake up not in a good mood. So you still got to remind yourself, well, you're alive. At least you're alive because people didn't wake up today. And then you continue like, what else am I grateful for? And I've been doing this challenge. I know Sierra's been doing it. This challenge is like a 7-day challenge to increase your results. And it's like the first 5 minutes from waking up, you put a timer for 5 minutes and you have to be grateful the first 5 minutes of you waking up. And it really improves your mood. Like, honest to God, it improves your mood. OD. All right, so let's get into it. I don't want to take too long. I got to be out of here by like 10:40. So first things first. This call is called the Law of Diminishing Intent. Drop a 1 if you guys have heard of the Law of Diminishing Intent before, and drop a 2 if you've never heard of it. Because I first, like, oh, you guys, okay, 1-on-1. I'm seeing you guys. Okay, I see 2s. So we're half and half. You guys are going to really like this. This was a perspective that I really had to start learning, and it took me a while to learn. It was like a progressive type of learning. It wasn't just like I got on a training and I learned it. It was like I had to learn it from life experiences. So it's basically the idea, and please take notes. Yo, I have a lot of notes with me right now. So I'm trying to speed through it. So please take notes, or someone take notes and like drop it in the chat or something so someone can screenshot it if you can't take notes right now. I know some people are driving or working. So shout out to y'all for being on here. But the law of diminishing intent is the longer you wait to do something that you should do now, the greater the odds that you will never actually do it. That's basically what it is. So it's the idea of like, you got to do something right now. And you're like, oh, I'll delay it. I'll do it a little bit later. I'll do it in like 5 minutes. And the more time that goes by that you don't get it done, the motivation and the feeling that you had when you first had to get it done starts to go away little by little by little. Now, that doesn't sound like it's such a bad thing, but I'm going to tell you something. It's very, very, very dangerous because it can get real bad real fast. Okay. So some examples of small things we're like, oh no, it's not that big of a deal. Put it to the side is, oh, I'm going to, when you do laundry and you have that bag of clothes that you have to put away, you're like, I'm going to put it away at the end of the day. How many of us end up with a bag of laundry still at the end of the week sitting in the corner of our room? You could drop a 1 in the chat because I know we are not perfect. Drop a 1 in the chat if you've done laundry and you have not put your clothes away immediately after you finish doing your laundry. Okay, I'm seeing 1s. I live in the machine. No, she's different. The machine is different. Well, I mean, you live alone, so you're good. No one else is going to use that machine. All right. So the other thing is, I'll text them back later. How many of us say, I'm going to text them back later, and then a whole week passed by, you still didn't text them back? Drop a 1 in the chat. Yo, I have gone months without texting people back. Months. Because of the fact that I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. In calling back too. Yes, oh, I'm going to call you back in a second. Everything happens within that second. You completely forget. Completely forget. And then another one. How many of us, drop a 2 in the chat for this one. How many of us, a trade gets sent out, right? A trade, a signal gets sent out, and we're like, yo, I'm going to take it, but I got to do this first. And then you never end up taking the trade. You forget. How many of us? How many of us? So I'm going to tell you, too loud. So it's like the law of diminishing intent is the fact that you didn't do it right now, which you could have. I'm going to tell you, any of those things would have taken a few minutes. Like you could have, whatever you were doing in that moment, that you got the feeling like, oh, let me do this. But you're like, something else is more important. That's when things start to go downhill. So those are small things. Big things that lead to even worse things, because, Jim Rohn talks about this. If you guys, I'm going to send you guys the video where I get the information from, but Jim Rohn is the one that, I saw someone say he coined this idea. Like he thought of this idea, the law of diminishing intent. So the big things that happen in our life are, oh, I'll read later on. So, you're supposed to read every day. How many of us read every day? Drop a 2. And be honest. Be honest. I didn't even get to read yesterday. A lot of stuff happened yesterday and I didn't read yesterday. So drop a 2 if you read every day. Now, drop a 1 if you don't get to read it every day. Drop a 1 if you don't get to read every day. And it's okay. It's okay. Now, I'm going to tell you things to adjust, but that's one thing. Another thing is I'll go to the gym tomorrow. Drop a 3 if you want to go to the gym every day, but you don't go to the gym every day or work out every day. You don't have to go to the gym, but you see, the intention is there, but the longer you delay the intention, the emotion and the feelings of those things diminish. So another one is I'll go to the next event. How many of you guys, if you've been in this business for a while, how many of you guys seen people who say, I'll go to the next event, and they don't go to the next event? And then they say, I'll go to the next one. There's another one coming up, and they don't go to that one either. And they don't go to the next one. That is the law of diminishing intent happening right in front of our face. You had all of these emotions for the first one. You didn't go. You're like, oh, I can delay it. And then you delay it even more and then more and more. And what it says, what I wrote here, we intend to do things when we get a wave of emotion. So like, for example, we watch someone working out on Instagram, like with our bodies fit, then you're like, yo, I gotta go to the gym. Like I gotta get on my stuff. You get emotions. That is when you need to take action. That is when, and this is something I'm going to talk about at the end, but I need to make sure that you guys understand. When you get that wave of emotion, I always say, set a time and day. When you have that wave of emotion, if you have this feeling like, yo, I got to go to the gym now. When are you going? What time and day? What time and day are you going? And tell someone it. Like tell your accountability partner, yo, we're going to the gym, or I'm going to go to the gym at this time and this day. Every day. You have to make the commitment right then and there when you have the emotion. Not, oh, I'm going to see what time I'm going to do it. I'm going to think about it later. Because then when you think about it later, you're not going to feel that emotional when, y'all, I'm going at 1. All right, bet. Everybody hit Amaya up at 1. Like, yo, where are you at? You at the gym? Hit her up at 1 p.m. Set the alarm. Set it. Yo, I always do this. Anytime someone tells me something with emotion, yo, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this done. I'm like, okay, when? Set the date. When are you going to do it? Because I'm going to go into it. But your intention starts to diminish if you don't take action immediately. So that's why I say set the date, set the time. When are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? Set it, the intention right then and there, and commit to it when you have the emotion. Because if you're like, yo, I'm going to figure it out, I'm going to plan it later, you're not going to have the same emotion later. It's not going to be executed the right way. Or you're not even going to have like that emotion to do it the way you really, really, really want to do it. Like the way you really want to go to the gym to get fit like that person you saw on Instagram, it's not going to be done the same way if you wait till later. You're not going to be excited. You're not going to be motivated. You're just going to be like, oh yeah, I said I was going to go to the gym. I think I should write it down so I could do it now. It's not going to be the same. So when you delay it, one day turns into a week turns into a month turns into a year, and the whole year passes by, and you're like, what happened to my year? Oh my God, it passed by so fast. It's not going to feel like it's passing by so fast if you're intentional every single day. And everything that you say you're going to do, you do it. You're going to be like, wow, I have all this time. I'm doing all these things. I feel so productive. I feel like I've lived 3 years in 1 year. You know that actually is how successful people feel. The things that successful people do in 1 year are things that people do in 10 years. The things that we do in IM, the things that we learn in IM, we're learning all of the things in one go live is what people take a whole month to learn on their own. Things that we learn at one event are things that people learn in like 5 years of a lifetime. The things that we learn in one book is like 20 years of someone's life. So I'm not going to go too into it because we don't got that much time. But as you continue to delay, your intentions, you're disrespecting yourself. So I'm saying it real, like Amaya says all the time. She gets on these calls to be real with y'all. I know you guys didn't get on this call for me to be all nice and sweet and talk sweet to y'all. Y'all came on here to learn and to improve yourselves. That's the intention. So I'm going to be real with you. Every single time that you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't do it, or you tell yourself I'm going to do it later, and you see yourself that you didn't do it later, and then you keep going like, oh, I'm going to do it later, I'm going to do it later, I'm going to do it later, you're disrespecting yourself. I grew up, I don't know if anyone else grew up like this, but I grew up around like, my uncles and stuff like that, and they would tell me, yeah, girl, I'm going to get you a pair of Uggs. I'm going to get you a phone case. I'm going to get you a laptop. They're talking like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And they wouldn't get it for me. And I remember this. I'm like, how old am I? I'm 23. I remember this. They would be like, yeah, I'm going to do this, da, da, da. And they didn't get it for me. After a while of me like, hey, Theo, can you get me this? Theo, can you get me that? Theo. I only had uncles. I didn't have no aunts. And they wouldn't get it for me. After a while, I stopped asking. That's exactly what I just said. I stopped asking after a while. I don't ask them for anything. I don't ask nobody for anything because I'm not going to expect that you're going to get it from me. That's the same thing with yourself. You know how many times you tell yourself, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get on this go live. I'm going to take a trade every day. And you see yourself every single day. You're disrespecting yourself. You're not doing it. Eventually, you're going to stop asking yourself to do it because you really just don't believe in yourself anymore. Because you disrespected yourself to a point where you can't trust your own word. And that's a point where you start losing motivation. Because you're like, bro, I can't even do what I tell myself to do. And then you lose motivation and you just stop doing everything altogether. And that happens to a lot of people in this business. It's so sad. It is so sad to see people like float away because they disrespected their own word. Their word means nothing. Their word means nothing. So, yeah, I wrote that. All of our words are starting to mean nothing. Not because of anything else except for the fact that we're not valuing our own self. We're not valuing what we say. So let's keep going, though. Let's keep going. That was a little sad. It's sad, though. We got to be real, though. It's so disappointing. So there are some perspectives that delay our action. Like the things that, how we think of things that we're telling ourselves to do is what delays it. So for example, let's say, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make my bed and I don't do it and I don't commit to it and I don't take it serious. It's because I don't think making my bed is something serious. Like, I don't think it's something important. And Jim Rohn says, we think, oh, some things don't matter, but literally everything matters. And I'm gonna tell you why everything matters is because if we think this thing doesn't matter, it'll move over to other things. Every single thing matters. How you do one thing is how you do everything. That's another way of saying it. So if you don't do your bed, you're not going to clean your room. If you don't clean your room, you're not going to fix up your finances. If you don't fix up your finances, you're not going to be smart with your money. If you're not smart with your money, it doesn't matter how much you make, you're going to lose all of it. It literally falls into every every single part of your life. And people be like, oh, I only messed up on one thing. No, everything you mess up on trickles away into other things. So if you're not being smart with being responsible with taking trades, or being responsible with your trading account, or being responsible with the people on your team, that's going to be a rest of your life as well. I think, I don't know who says it, but a couple of people have said it. If I could look at your life, I could look at your calendar, I can guess the number in your bank account. It's because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're not fixing every single part or being committed to your word, then everything's going to fall apart. And I basically said that. So Neno has been saying it on repeat. I don't know why it stands out to me when he says it. Like the last 5 years, and Jim Rohn has said it a lot in the audios I've been listening to. The last 5 years are going to be exactly the same as the next 5 years if you don't start to change your commitment to your words. If you don't start to change the little things that you think don't matter, those little things that you think don't matter, like, I can move it I could do it tomorrow. Those little things, if you don't start to do those things, then your life is going to be exactly the same as the last 5 years. How many of you guys drop a 2 if you want that to happen? And drop a 3 if you don't want that to happen. Drop a 2 if you want your last 5 years to be the same. Drop a 3 if you want it to be different. Your next 5 years, sorry. I see 3s. So that means that you're going to start taking action towards changing. Whenever you get that emotion, that feeling of, oh, I got to do this. I want to do this. I feel excited. I got to do it. Take action. Take action. There are some things where we really think we have all the time in the world. Why do we think we have all the time in the world? You know how fast life has passed by? We're in our 20s. We are in our 20s, which now we actually have some type of consciousness where we can make our own decisions. We're understanding life a lot better. We're more clear. Now we have an opportunity in front of us. Yo, you guys know how easy it is in this opportunity to start going on the path to being successful, and we just don't do it? How easy is it to log in, to go live and learn? How easy is it to pick up a book and read, but people don't do it? How easy is it to just pick up and start doing some jumping jacks, start doing some push-ups? How easy is it? We can start doing it right now. It's really easy, but people just don't do it. So we got to really just understand, like, we aren't really taking the right steps in every single part of our life to improve it. And if we do want our life to be different, we have to start doing those things. Now, let me get back to this. Yeah. So he says the smallest action is the most important. So after the first action you take, it's going to start working in your favor. You take one action, you start committing to your word. Let's say you're going to go to the gym, you go to the gym. That day, you're going to feel really good. The next feeling you get, you're going to start doing it. And the next feeling you get, you're going to start doing it immediately. So that is going to help work in your favor. It doesn't work against you all the time. It works in your favor too. So if you start doing what you say you're going to do, eventually everything you say you're going to do, you're going to start doing it because it's going to become a habit. And it's not going to be as hard. Right now, it's probably hard. Like right now, you're like, oh, damn. But then after a week, it's not going to feel that hard. Then after 2 weeks, it's not going to feel that hard. So, yeah. He says to tell this to yourself, I should, I could, and I will, which I wanted to talk about that at the end. But I told you guys the problem. That's our problem. A lot of people do this. Majority of the world does it. 90% of the world does it. I could say 99% of the world does it. 99% of the world have the law of diminishing intent working against them. Now, how do you get rid of it? I have a couple things, and this is what you need to take notes on. Now, I would say stay away from chatters. And I call it chatters. I just call it chatters. So people who are chatters are the people who say a bunch of stuff and don't do nothing, y'all. The people who just talk and don't do nothing, you stay far away from those people. Okay? The reason you stay far away from those people is because you are who you attract. And I was going to bring up the book, but I don't think we got that much. What time is it? It's 10:25. We don't got that much time, but I'm reading the 48 Laws of Power. And if you look up law number 10 is people can be contagious like a disease, like a virus. And if you're around people who constantly do something that drains energy, does certain things, that's going to be spread into your body too. And if you're around people who chat, guess what you're going to become? Hey, you're reading that book too. That's fire. I'm on law 23. I'm in half the book, y'all. This book is huge. 24. I'm on law number 24. But if you're around chatters, guess what you're going to become? A chatter. You're going to be someone who talks and doesn't do. And that's really embarrassing, y'all. That's embarrassing. To be a chatter, no one's really going to like listen to you. No one's going to like even listen to your ideas. No one's going to want to get you to do anything. You're not going to be asked. You're not going to be put in position ever. You're never going to be put in position. You're not really going to be seen as a leader or someone of influence because you're a chatter. All you do is talk. And a lot of people will not respect you. A lot of people will not respect you. You lose respect for a lot of people. Now, stay away from complainers. Now, Jim Rohn talks about this. He said, find out what the rich people say. Backwards. Erase that whole sentence I just said. He said, find out what the poor people say. Find out what the poor people do. And find out what the poor people read and watch. And then don't do any of those things. Austin Godsey has a tattoo on his face. In I don't know what language, but they're characters. And I asked him one day, what is that? In person. I asked him in person, y'all. It's so okay. But I asked him, what does that say? He was like, observe the masses and do the opposite. He has it tattooed on his face. On his face, y'all. Observe the masses and do the opposite. Figure out what people are doing. And yo, if you could take anything from this call, please make sure you take this. Yo, I make it a goal every single day I wake up to not do what everybody else is doing. That's literally my goal in life, to be different. I do not want to ever be compared to people who are not successful. Don't ever want to be seen as someone who's not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I want to be seen as like, that's my goal. And that should be everyone's goal. Like when someone talks about you, they're like, yo, they're different. They're going hard. They're someone who strives to be their best. Like they're always going hard in their life. And I can't compare them to nobody. They're different. And I see them going far. That should be what everyone says about you. It doesn't even matter because I'm not rich. I'm not super successful. But I could bet I can get 2 people to tell you that they could say that about me. Because of what I do every single day. They cannot compare me to anybody. I'm different. And that should be what everyone says about you. No one can compare you to the 99%. No one. You don't do what they do. You don't listen to what they listen to. You don't watch what they watch. You're different. So as you continue to be different, as you continue to listen to audios, read books, do what you're supposed to do, you're going to stray away from the chatters. You're going to stray away from the complainers. And they're going to still be around you. But you know what you're going to do? You got AirPods on, you're going to put your AirPods on. You got an audio, you're going to listen to your audio. You're going to get on a call. You know what I used to do? I was so petty. I used to hang out with my friends and my cousins and stuff. And they didn't really like support people that I listened to in the business. They didn't like, I would be on trainings and they would like listen to the trainings just to talk BS about the training. It was so weird. Like, I'm like, how can you find something negative about what they're saying? I couldn't understand it. Not my perspective, but I will put it louder. And you know what I would do? I'll put it on the TV. I'll put it on the speaker. You're going to listen to this with me. I don't care. Talk all the BS you want. We're going to listen to it together. I'm going to listen to Nano in the morning. My cousin hates Nano. He hates Nano. He doesn't even know why. I ask him all the time. He doesn't even know why. He's like, no, because he wake me up in the morning. I'm like, first of all, no. Why you still remember his name? That's mean he impacted you. He knows his name. He's like, nah, I hate Nano. I'm like, why you still remember his name then? You hate him so much. Why he living in your head rent free? So you're gonna stray away from those people. They're still gonna be around, but like be petty if you want to. But I will still do what I need to do regardless of what people gotta say about it. It's fun to me, actually. It's fun. Like, I like pissing off negative people. It's whatever. So stay away from the norm, basically. And then what you're going to do is go towards action-based people. So I want you guys to do this challenge real quick. I always do this. Every time I get on a call, every time I look in the chats, I'm always looking at people that are working. I've done that from the moment I joined this business, from everywhere, actually, every place I've gone to. I always observe the room. I would observe everything, and I'll be like, who is serious? Who is the best in this room? Who's committed? And then I will surround myself with that person. That's what I want you to do. Like, from today, starting today, if you haven't done it already, because I know some of you guys, like, y'all did this, but I want you guys to go and find somebody who you see works hard, who you see is always consistent, and just hit them up. Just talk to them like once a week, 2 times a day, whatever, but have them in your circle. Make it a goal to put them into your circle. Make it a goal to be close with them, because that's going to help you in the long run. I promise you, oh my God, 99.9% is going to come from surrounding yourself from that person. Because when you're surrounding yourself with that person or people, when you're surrounding yourself around that environment, they're going to give you ideas. They're going to motivate you. They're not going to let you chat and not do. If you surround yourself around me, if you tell me you're going to do something, I'm going to be like, when? When are you going to do it? Let's do it right now. And there's people on this call, they know what I'm talking about. I'm like, all right, let's do it right now. And there's people who actually did that to me too on this call. When I say something, they're like, okay, let's do it right now. And I'm like, okay, bet. So surround yourself around people like that. And then go towards, and I said this already, go towards the eccentric. Eccentric, I love that word. It means different. The word means different. So go towards the eccentric. So look at the things that are different. Look at the things that are outside of the norm. Okay, sorry. Look at the things that are outside of the norm and surround yourself around that. And aim to stand out and be different. So do the opposite. Now, the last things are the do's and the don'ts. So the do's are, I want you to question everything. What time is it? All right, cool. I'm about to be done. I want you to question everything. I want you to question the people around you. I'm not saying like be angry and like, oh, you point fingers. I'm just telling you to question it. Question the people that you surround yourself in the day. Do they have what you want? And I'm not saying completely cut them out of your life. I'm just saying, do they have what you want? Now, if they don't, slowly start to take a little bit of time away and replace it with people who do have what you want. And if you don't have a specific person that has what you want, then I want you to replace it with an audio from a person that has what you want, or a book from a person that has what you want. That's how you can start to really change things around. Then I want you to question the ideas around you. So I know a lot of us scroll on our Explore page and on TikTok. What I tell you is, yes, it's good, it's entertaining, but yo, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. When I go on my Explore page, there's like horoscope stuff and like people talking about, oh, when he does this or when she does that. And before, I would read those things and I'll be like, yo, that's so true. Oh my God, that's facts. And I'll save it. I'll post it on my story, whatever, all these memes and stuff. And then I started to question and I said, do I want that to be my truth? For example, I know a lot of like, whatever. I was going to say girls, but everyone's different now. So look, if a post popped up like, oh, when, what's that person that y'all be following? Y'all, Justin LaBoy, LA boy, he posts some crazy stuff, right? And let's say he posts like, oh, when, damn, I can't think of anything. You see, I'm diluted from all the toxicity. So let's say he says something toxic about men, right? Because we all see posts about guys, how guys do this and guys do that. So let's say they say something toxic. Yeah, you see, let's say men ain't, I'm not going to curse, but let's say men ain't nothing. That's what they say. And then usually we'll be like, yo, that's facts. Like, I can't trust these dudes. They out here just doing nonsense, right? That's how you used to be. Do you want that to be your truth? Do you want that to be your truth? Do you want men to not be like that? Like, do you want men to just be trash? In your perspective, do you want that? No. So why are you going to keep seeing it? Every single time you see it and you affirm it, you're like, yo, that's so true. You're going to keep experiencing it. Now, tomorrow, you're going to meet a man and he's going to be trash. And you're going to be like, see, I told you. See, I told you. And that's gonna happen every single time. That happens with everything though. When you're like, oh, bro, when I hate my job. And you're gonna be like, yo, that's so true. You're gonna go to work, you're gonna hate it. But you know, there's some people that like their job. You know, there's some people that go to work and they're happy. You know, Bob Proctor, I've been listening to him. Yo, R.I.P. Bobby P. Oh my God. He's not gone though. But he worked and he was making like $10,000 a year. And he brought his income from $10,000 to $1 million a year. And he was cleaning floors. He was cleaning floors. Did he complain about his job? He was cleaning floors. He made $1 million a year income. And what I'm trying to explain it to you is he went to work with a purpose. He had a good feeling. He was helping the people he was with. So you don't have to have the perspective that everybody has on everything. Do you want that to be your belief? Challenge the ideas around you. And then I want you to question your own excuses. Now, when you have, let's say, when you have that emotion, the law of diminishing intent is about to start working against you, right? You have the emotion like, yo, I should clean my room right now. Like you're just sitting and you just look at something, you're like, damn, I should probably mop. I should probably clean my room. What excuse are you about to tell yourself why you can't do it? Because an excuse is going to come. What excuse is it? What's today? Today's Friday. I could do it tomorrow. I have more time. But don't you have time right now? Is that a good excuse? Is that a good excuse? That's what I want you to do. Challenge your own excuses. Are those good excuses? Because the excuses only sound good to you. Would Bob Proctor use that excuse? Would John Guaman use that excuse? Will Eli Willock use that excuse? I don't think so. Challenge your own excuses and challenge your priorities. This is something really, really big. The things that you think are really important, are they important? Why? Like listening to music. I know a lot of us think that like, yo, I need music. Why? Why do you? Ask yourself, why do you think you need music? What's the excuse? What's the priority? All right. So I actually have this alarm on my phone. I'm about to be done, y'all. I actually have this alarm thing on my phone. It's every single hour it goes and it says who and what are you around right now? Do they have what you want? And every single hour it goes off. And since I've had that, you know, my days have been so productive. I literally will stop and I ask myself, okay, who am I around? And then there's days where I know the alert is about to pop up and I'm doing something. Like I'm talking to somebody, I'm hanging out with somebody. I'm like, damn, okay, I need to make sure I'm productive before that alarm goes off because I need to make sure I'm productive every single hour. You know, there is rarely like maybe one time that alarm pops up on my phone that I'm not productive. Maybe one time. And then the last few things. These are your don'ts, okay? Don't let others decide for you. Don't be like that person like, oh, you guys decide what we're going to do this weekend, or you decide what we're going to listen to, or you decide this, you decide that. No, like, I'm okay. No, decide. Decide for yourself. Like you are your own person. You know what's best for you. You need to be the one that decides. Don't let people decide for you. Okay. The next is don't slack off more than one day. Don't slack off more than one day. You give yourself 1 day to slack. Like if you don't go to gym, you only have 1 day to not go to the gym. If you don't read, you only have 1 day to not read. You only have 1 day, one time. 2, it's a choice. 3, it's a worse of a choice. You know, 3 strikes, you're out. Now I only give myself 1 strike. 1 strike. Because after 2, what does it say? Fool me 1 time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame. Yeah, can't put that's J. Cole. Okay, next is don't spend more time with people than yourself. That is a big one. You need to spend more time with yourself than other people. Because if you're not spending time with yourself, you're not getting time to reflect. You're not spending time to know what you need to be doing. Like, you guys understand where I'm going. Like, don't spend more time with other people than yourself. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't even feel like I need to explain that. And then don't stop learning. If you're not learning every single day, you're dying. Don't let yourself get bored. If you feel like you're bored, that's law of diminishing intent. You're not productive. You're getting bored. You're going to start doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. You're going to start doing other things. Like you're going to start hanging out with people you shouldn't be hanging out with. You're going to start listening to music you shouldn't be listening to, going on social media, doing things you shouldn't be doing, finding some type of escape from your boredom. That's instant gratification. And then don't entertain yourself too much. Okay? Entertainment is not the goal of life. Resting is not the goal of life. The goal of life is to grow and to continue growing. So if you're entertaining yourself, you're on social media too long, if you're listening to music too long, you're going out too much, don't do that. Don't do that. Replace it. Because those are all of the habits that are going to lead to the law of diminishing intent. When you're entertaining yourself too much, let's say, you're having too much fun on TikTok and you're supposed to be doing something, you get that little alarm. Guess what you want to do? You want to snooze the alarm and continue getting entertained. Because this is another audio you have to listen to Outwitting the Devil. You'll understand that if you're entertained too much, those are the things that the devil uses, the devil meaning the negative part of your mind, that the devil uses to keep you there, to keep you drifting, to keep you distracted and flowing like the 99%. But that's it. That's all the info I got for y'all. I'm really done. I gave y'all a lot of sauce. I'm going to send an audio in the chat. So you guys can know where I got this information from. It was a couple different audios that I've been listening to for the past few days, but I really appreciate y'all. I gotta go. I will talk to you guys soon. Hope you guys have a great day, and make sure y'all withdrawing. And if you don't have residual checks, make sure you're aiming to get residual checks. Bye.